welcome to the live, bro. We back. We are back, and we are not going anywhere. Let me switch this shit real quick. Add this to my shit. Let me switch this real quick, naive. Then we gonna get into what we doing. Let me switch this up. So first off, what's up? Wait, where the fuck is this thing at? Okay, here we go. There go stickers. Let's go to, okay. Let's go to music. Let's just drop that. Then let me switch this to, I don't want to do that. I want to go to the grid and switch to panel. Bam, there we go. Let's switch this. Oh, that's me, damn. I want to go to this thing and make it a little bigger. The music, let me just put this right here. Boop, music, and I put this right here. Look, icon, music. Let's throw, let me throw, let me throw something up here. Let me throw something up here real quick. Background. We're gonna start from the first day. And just go. If that shit's not popping up, I'm waiting for it to pop up. It takes too long sometimes. It's not my fault. It takes too long. Okay. We're gonna run through. Wait, come on, bro. Background. Where my fucking photos at? With no photos available? What are they talking about? Do. Oh, no photos available. Okay, cool. Okay. That is okay. I can send them over. So I sent that real quick. What's this? That's what they do? That's what that is? Okay. I could do with that. So we're going to go through the songs real quick. We definitely going to go listen to the audio book. And then we're going to go to 2 YouTube videos. Get it out the way. Done. That's our show. That's how we're doing it. It's never going to change. I'm coming on once in the morning and not looking back, right? Just keep it simple. That's the goal here. That is the goal here. And that's the only goal. To keep it simple, stupid. And that's all we're doing, right? Keep it simple. I'm going to start shouting people out. Once we start playing some music. And we about to do that right the bump now. Hold on, I forgot I got to keep this headphones on for live and Twitch. Shout out Twitch. Shout out Kick. Shout out Twitch. Shout out Kick. Shout out TikTok. Shout out YouTube. Shout out all the things I clip on Instagram and shout out Snapchat. I fuck with y'all. I'm trying to come up on everything. So let's get right into it. We about to play Money Mission. This is the first song that we dropped on our 20-week drop. This is our 20-week drop. This is our first song we dropped, Money Mission. We're gonna go down all the way up to Holy Nigga that's dropping this Friday. Yeah, we just rocking here, yeah. Pull up. Yeah. Money is the mission. Got a gang of hoes, they releasing all attention. Hopping in the Fisker, I'm knowing all the pissing. Watch a nigga whip it, cook it in the kitchen. Talking grandma biscuit. Got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga a hit. Real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch, and you drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me. He be testing me. I got the recipe. I'm not in there giving what you want. I'ma in there giving what you need, baby. Know you want me hit it from the front. I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, man. Hold on, wait. Yeah, I forgot. I gotta repeat that. We gonna repeat that shit like 10 times real quick. I'm tripping. Then we gonna move on. The fuck? What we doing right now? What are we doing right now? I'm gonna cut this off.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga hit, real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch and we drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best for me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. I'm not in there giving what you want. I'm not in there giving what you need. Baby, know you want me hit it from the front. I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah, yeah. I'm keeping it going. Money Mission, Money Mission. That's the first song we dropped off the project. 20 weeks, straight tracks, 20 weeks. Every day, every day. There we go. Money is the mission. Got a gang of hoes, they releasing all attention. Hopping in the Fisker, I'm knowing all the pissing. Watch a nigga whip it, cook it in the kitchen. Talking grandma biscuit. Got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up these clips. Get a nigga hit, real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch and we drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. I'm not in there giving what you want. I'm not in there giving what you need. Baby, know you want me hit it from the front. I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Let's go. Shout out Taco. Shout out Romeo. Shout out Emmanuel. Shout out Bass. Shout out Penny Trinidad. Shout out Bobby. Shout out Florida Dad. Nigga whip it, cook it in the kitchen, talking grandma biscuit. Felicity on the drip, got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga hit, real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch and we drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. Shout out Rob, shout out Ray. Know you want me hit it from the front. Shout out Chuck Man. Shout out CeeLo 1000. Shout out Angie Berkey. Yo, I'm not good at names, but fuck it, I keep going, right? Shout out Taco. Yeah, Money Mission. Hey. This from the first week, man. Check it out. Yeah. Money is the mission. Got a gang of hoes, they releasing all attention. Hopping in the Fisker, I'm knowing on the pissin'. Watch a nigga whip it, cook it in the kitchen. Talking grandma, but let's see you on the drip. Got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga a hit, real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch, and we drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. Shout out TikTok, hey, what's up in the chat? Yeah, no bullshit. Baby. Yeah. Hey. Yeah. Money is the mission. Got a gang of hoes, they releasing all the tension. Hopping in the Fisker, I'm annoying on the piston. Watch a nigga whip it, cooking in the kitchen. Talking grandma biscuit. Felicity on the drip. Got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Better watch your tone when you talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga hit, real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch, yeah, we drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. Yeah, I'm not in there giving what you need, baby. Know you want me hit it from the front? I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah, yeah. Shout out 11, shout out user 79, shout out Kersey, shout out Kula, shout out Juror, shout out Gabby, shout out Allen, shout out Randy, shout out Randy, shout out Party with D, shout out Roosevelt, shout out Ecstasy Case, I think. AJ, shout out Blue, shout out Taco. Real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch, yeah, we drinking Heffany. Star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. I'ma hit it giving what you want. I'ma hit it giving what you need. Baby, know you want me hit it from the front. I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah. Don't. Yeah. Money is the mission. Got a gang of hoes, they releasing all the tension. Knowing all the pissing. Watch a nigga whipping, cooking in the kitchen. Talking grandma biscuits. Felicity on the drip. Got my diamonds on in the kitchen when I whip. Tell me about your tone while we talking to a pimp. Drinking champagne while I'm blowing up his clips. Get a nigga a hit. Real nigga to the death of me. And I'm with your bitch. We drinking Heffany. 5-star chicks, I only want the best of me. Lord be blessing me, he be testing me. I got the recipe. I'm not in giving what you want. I'm in giving what you need. Baby, know you want me hit it from the front. I'ma need to see you on your knees, baby. Yeah. Time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread, yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on the trip, cause I let her kick the back door when the trap is a setup. Knock, knock, that's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch, that's the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord, whip it back to the solid. Bands they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto key. Dang, pimping with my feet. Come on. Yeah, time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome off. Gotta whip it for the extra. This is getting better. Did it for the bread, yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on a trip, cause I let her kick the back door when your trap is a setup. Knock, knock, that's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch, that's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord, whip it back to a solid. Bands they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto key. Dame pimping with my feet. Come on, man. Come on, let me get some whole courts. HC whole courts. Whole courts, let's go. Fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome off. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread, yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch in the trip, cause I let her. Pick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock, that's the fucking Reaper calling. That's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord, whip it back to the solid. Comments in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto key. Dame pimping with my feet. like that last one. Why they took that one off? Fuck that shit. Time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome off. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread. Yeah, that bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on a trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock. That's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch. That's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord. Whip it back to solid. Biz, they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit. Wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching. Auto key. Dame pimping with my feet. Yeah. Time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome off. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the head and the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on a trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock. That's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch. That's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord. Whip it back to the solid. Baby, they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit. Wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching. Auto key. Dame pimping with my feet. Yeah. Shout out Blue. Shout out Fritz. Shout out Summer. Shout out RJ. Shout out Prince. Shout out Distro. Shout out Jay. Shout out Sage. Man Top. Mo Top. Shout out Taco. Did it for the bread, yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you like my bitch in the trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock, that's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch, that's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord, whip it back to the solid. Baby, they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto, Dame pimping with my feet. Yeah, man. Three more times, then we going into holy nigga. Holy nigga. We going into holy nigga. With your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome off. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread. Yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on a trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock. That's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch. That's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord. Whip it back to the solid. Baby, they be brolic, they know he like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto key. Dame pimping with my feet. Time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting my dome up. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread. Yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, like a bitch in the trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock. That's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch. That's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord. Whip it back to the solid. Bands, they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto, Dame pimping with my feet. Yeah. It's nice. Time to hold court. Play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your hoe getting her dome on. Gotta whip it for the extra. Wrist is getting better. Did it for the bread, yeah, the bitch is in the cheddar. Yeah, you had my bitch on a trip cause I let her. Kick the back door when your trap is set up. Knock, knock, that's the fucking Reaper calling. Top notch, that's what the fuck he be smoking. Oh Lord, whip it back to the solid. Baby, they be brolic and I know she like to pop it. Commas in deposit, wrist dripping like a faucet. Lane switching, auto, Dame pimping with my feet. Hey. I already know, man. Now, play no games, but I roll sport. I don't really fuck with your whole sort. Pull up in chrome horse. Got your whole game. Now we about to do the top of the week. Listen, this week we got this week since yesterday. I dropped the preview. Holy nigga, ninja holy. Nigga holy, ninja holy, ninja holy. It say nigga, so nigga holy. We dropped it yesterday, the preview Please go check out the preview on the page. Go run that up like that. That's on the page right now. We got the track Holy Nigga right here. This is Holy Nigga. We about to play Holy Nigga. Please turn up. Stand the fuck up. And turn out. This is what we about to jump off right now. We about to play the whole song all week. If you hear, you get the whole song. If you on TikTok, you get a preview. And by Friday, you get the whole song on Friday. So that's what we doing. I took a little 3-day little break. Back, I was sick really, but I'm back here, back at it, and we ain't stopping. We got this the third, so we in the second week, so we in the third week. So we got 17 more weeks to go of dropping straight fire artwork, song, verse, previews, and sitting here performing it live until we get somewhere, until something pop off, and that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Until something else happen, we don't know. We just rocking with this, and we locking in like that. I'm still doing reactions. I do reactions. You know, the shit that I fuck with. Only listening to that shit that I fuck with. That's it. I'm not doing nothing else. I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just chilling. Gonna do me. Stay in my lane. Stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Word. So we about to get into Holy Nigga. We about to run this shit like 10, 20 times real quick. We about to run Holy Nigga like 20 times. Yeah. Synagogue. Been a fraud. I don't do no tricks, but a nigga had to been the cards. I ain't get no lifeline. I ain't get no grow up. Nigga be a fucking man. So I stacked 100 grand. Not enough. Stuffed her ice. Baking soda with the ice. Grip the pole. Fuck your life. 100 days. 100 nights. Yeah. We don't run from police. You got the bell now. Why? That nigga cellbound. 304 thinking she cute. I got a choosing fee. Now I'm back in these blues. Ain't shit ain't new to me. Champagne on the campaign. Told her in the cocaine, make the money. Yeah. Champagne, join the campaign. Soda in the cocaine, make the money. Yeah, yeah. You know, that's coming back like 20 times. That's coming back like 20 times. Here we go. Listen, holy nigga. Holy fucking nigga. Holy cow. Holy synagogue. Been a fraud. But a nigga had the been the cards. Lifeline. Helping hand. Grow up. Fucking man. Stuff the rice. With the ice. Fuck your life. 100 nights. I see the light. Police. We got the bell now. That nigga cellbound. I got a choosing fee. That shit ain't new to me. Soda in the cocaine, make the money. Yeah. Champagne, join the campaign. Soda in the cocaine, make the money. Yeah. 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 Shit. Oh, I'm about to freestyle just now. Nah, shit, I'm bugging. Here we go. Yeah. Shout out Chris. Shout out Trilla. Shout out Miss Space. Miss Spaceman. Shout out Sofa. Shout out Dot. Shout out G. Shout out Shoe Slane. Sagamo J. Prince Taylor. Distro RJ. Shout out Henry. That nigga cellbound. I got a choosing fee. Cocaine in the money. Hey yo, where y'all watching from? Let me know where y'all watching from. Soda in the cocaine making money. Yeah. Yeah. This nigga hold like the synagogue. I feel a little sick, but I got on. Fuck it. I don't get no lifeline. Not enough. Fuck the ice. With the ice. Fuck your life. 100 nights. We don't run from police. We got the bell now. That nigga cellbound. I got a choosing seat. Now I'm back stacking these blues. This shit ain't new to me. Champagne join the campaign. Make the money. Yeah. Champagne join the campaign. Soda and the cocaine make the money. Yeah, we getting a full version on this on TikTok on Friday. You getting a full version on TikTok on Friday. Please check it out. Pull up, pull up, pull up. Pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Shout out Taylor, shout out Chris, shout out Lady, shout out Taco, shout out Spaceman, shout out Sofa, shout out Doc. Nigga grow up. Nigga be a fucking man. So I stacked 100 grand. Not enough. Stuff the rice with the ice. Fuck your life. 100 nights. I see the light. Police. We got the bell now. Why you ain't brought him a switch? That nigga cellbound. Freakin' she cute. I got a choosing fee. Now I'm stacked back in these blues. This shit ain't new to me. Soda and the cocaine make the money. Yeah. Champagne join the campaign. Soda and the cocaine make the money. Yeah. 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 This nigga holy like the synagogue. Nigga, you been a fraud. I don't do no tricks, but a nigga had the been the cards. Lifeline, I ain't get no helping hand. Grow up, nigga be a fucking man. So I stacked 100 grand. Stuff the rice with the ice. Fuck your life. 100 nights. I see the light. We don't run from police. We got the bell now. Why you ain't brought him a switch? That nigga cellbound. 304 thinking she cute. I got a choosing fee. Now I'm back stacking these blues. This shit ain't new to me. Soda and the cocaine make the money. Yeah. Champagne join the campaign. Soda and the cocaine make the money. Yeah. Yeah. So man, listen. Check it out. Check it out. First off, thank y'all for pulling up. Thank y'all for being here. Whoever's here, let's just shout that out real quick. Second off, we about to read the book. It's gonna Find Out 5, the book. Oh, let me switch it. Let me switch the cover. Do. Nothing even matters now that I got you. So, listen. Find Out 5, the book. It's an audio book. I got it on. It's a book that you can buy on Blurb. I probably got the link somewhere, bro. I don't fucking know, bro. I need to put the link up there. That's what I need to do. Let me try to switch this poll. I'm not doing none of that. Fuck it. That just is what it is. Got the book. We about to read the audio. We about to listen to the audio from YouTube. Get like 15 minutes, nothing crazy. 15 minutes of it. Just to we're gonna read like 15 minutes of it just to basically read the book. So cause basically I was reading it and it's like, wait, I got the whole fucking shit on what's name. I might as well just read it out loud there. So that's what a nigga gonna do. And yeah. That's what a nigga gonna do.
Salt and pepper hair and a desk full of
So this is 30. The whole thing is 120 minutes, right? I don't want to start it over, but I'm gonna start it at. Let me see where we at.
and spoke to his 32 years of law enforcement. Let me call you back, Tom stood and turned to look out the window. It's not that easy, Nancy. And why the hell not? Because Tom turns to face Nancy. How was your flight? The family, the mister cut the shit, Tom. Who's got you bent over a barrel? Tom goes to sit back down. He took.
Okay, so basically, it started off with Sean getting arrested, going to he got arrested stealing from Toys R Us and some shit, and he was with his friend, white boy Chris. They went to jail. He went to like, the precinct. Got picked up. Mother came, picked him up from Queens. They sort of do a fast forward to present time or whatever. Go back into present time, and you see Sean getting arrested. It's like a raid. I'm on the house. It's the trap house 595, which is the house. He gets into a raid. After the raid, you go into another flashback on when he meets Faith. That's the other girl right here. That's the girl right there. So he meets Faith, and when Faith, they get locked in, they start trapping. This is when the trap house. It was a house already, but then it became like a in-call house, like where the girls make their calls at, and from the in-call house, it leads up to this is still a conversation of the in-call house going. This is like after he established himself with the 4 girls that he got, and this is sort of going into because Desto was the big story too. I think Desto was down on the cover too. She's down there. That's Desto in front of the car. And she was white or Spanish, whatever. But Desto is a part of the situation to where she got kidnapped earlier. And when she got kidnapped, it turned to when she got kidnapped, it was a whole nother situation. And that turned into her leaving the kidnap, like escaping the kidnapped people. And when she made it, and she found her friend Faith, which is right there. She found Faith, and then Faith was able to bring her along with Shine. And as that goes on, there is this is I call it a pandemic or epidemic of kidnapped girls that's on the back page of sites and all the sites. You remember Craigslist that went down? They were selling body parts and shit like that. That type of stuff. That stuff was happening, and the principalities, the government really couldn't pinpoint it fast enough and shit like that. So, right, so a traffic girl get trafficked and get stolen from Russia, Yugoslavia, the middle of Denver somewhere, and then a couple years later, even if she doing it independently or she fucking with some group of people or she actually still being trafficked and she's actually on a website and she got put up there. She look independent, but truthfully, it's people who got her up there, and she's not even from this country and stuff like that. So that's why people crack down on those websites, and they was having those raids, and they was having the stuff on those websites because those, other than being underage, other than running away from runaways, but you still from the United States. You get what I'm saying? But they got having people coming from different countries. They set up a house in Brooklyn and fucking Manhattan or Arizona somewhere, Maryland, and now they trafficking these girls, and they got regular people going through the website, spending their hard-earned money, U.S. tax dollars on motherfucking these trafficked females. And so that's why these sites was getting cracked down. So right now, I'm talking about at this point is when Nancy, which is on the back of the cover, Nancy goes into the basically this is like the district attorney. I made this stuff up. This stuff is like made up. So when Nancy, Homeland Security, I don't know who else would take down a website. So Nancy, Homeland Security jumps right into the district attorney's face, like, hey, bro, we need to get this shut down. And he telling her, like, it's a lot of red tape. We don't know the owners, blah, 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 blah. So that's how that goes. So we about to listen to it and keep going. I just wanted to update.
Lose his tie. Listen, the lawyers. Red tape, that kind of thing. Bullshit, you know. Plus, we can't track down the owners. We need a face. Nancy pointed to the stack of papers on his desk. Look at all the faces of those children, not adults. Kids, do something, do it now. Nancy stormed out.
Yo, where y'all from? Drop where y'all from. I gotta drop where y'all from. And let me start the shout outs real quick. Let me go from the top.
Of the stack of files, he read her name aloud.
Shout out shout out
13 years old.
Mary Jane, shout out
Home State, Missouri. Back page online escort site
Queens.
New York.
I don't even know, bro. Sis, I don't know your name. That shit long as hell. Shout out NFL, shout out Positive, shout out Drea, shout out Taco.
Spooky at that time of night. She wasn't scared. She texted the person she was waiting for. 5 minutes later, she sees her girl walking towards her. Hey, that's you, yes, bitch. Who else? It's walking towards her. Hey, that's you, yes, bitch. Who else? It's fucking spooky out here, duh fuck. Let's go, Faith said, grabbing her hand and walking towards 595. Where we going? Chill, we safe? Here, Faith said. Okay, Deso said, trusting her girl. Shine Kool-Aid. TNK was smoking blunts upstairs in the front room at 595, getting ready for the night. Deso and Faith walked in. What the fuck happened to your eyes? Shine said to the new girl. Shit, I had to get away somehow. She rubbed her eye with the back of your hand. T, grab her some ice. What's your name, Shorty? Shine said to Deso, but looked at Faith. Hey, I'm Deso, you know. All Shine couldn't help but laugh. How old you is? 19, Deso said. Don't lie, Faith told her. 17. I be 18 soon. Okay, fine. We can figure that out later. What's your real name? Ms. Deso, Shine asked her. Kimberly. Kimberly Smith, Deso said, then put the ice wrapped in paper towel on her swollen eye. Young Shine walked into his mother's Brooklyn apartment in Bed-Stuy. The apartment was empty, quiet, and clean. He got some food from the refrigerator, then played his PlayStation until he fell asleep on the bunk bed. The next morning, young Shine wakes up to sounds coming from the living room. He walked and saw his mother and Crackhead Artie getting high at the living room table. Hey baby, I know you was here. Yeah, I came last night. Okay, it's some cereal. Know you was here. Yeah, I came last night. Okay, it's some cereal up in there. I know, Ma, I got it. Shine was unbothered by his mother being high. He wasn't used to it, but he just didn't have the energy to say anything. I have the back windows and the roof covered, the officer continued to say as he knocked hard at the door. Shine's mother told him to hide. She would get rid of the officer. No, Ma, let me just get this over with. Okay, I'ma go open the door. She get up to open the door for the cop. Relax, I'm coming, she yelled at the door. She opened the door just a crack. How may I help you? Officer Bishop said he had a warrant for Shine's arrest. Hold on. Shine's mother closed the door. An officer Bishop's face inside the Queen's family courthouse. Shine waited with his lawyer, Miss Candace. She was a sweet black lady with a huge heart and huge breast. Just talk to your mother, she said. She's on her way. We gonna see the judge in a few. Okay, you're gonna have to stay out of trouble, young man. Your Honor, we are still waiting for Shine's mother to show up to proceed. That's fine, counselor, but we have been waiting a few hours already. Please produce her or we will have to hold the defiant until his next court. I'm sorry, young man, but you're going to have to go to NSD housing and report back to the court for this case. We cannot release you without a guardian. Shine and his lawyer walked to the back of the courthouse. What just happened? Shine asked his court-appointed family lawyer. Your mother didn't come. You're going to NSD house. They're gonna bring you back to court. They offered you a year in a youth facility. Hopefully your mother's back in the picture by then. Shine watched the lawyer walk back out into the courtroom. A court officer placed Shine in a room with other juvenile delinquents. Ayo, where we going? Shine asked some kid. I know, nigga. Then he went back to scraping his nickname or gang sat on the wooden table. Shine woke up in the middle of tea. Kool-Aid, Faith and K. Shine sat up and grabbed the half of blunt from the ashtray. Faith woke up slowly. Shine passed her the blunt. It was a good night last night, Shine told Faith. For who? She said to him with a nasty look. Shine didn't answer back. Faith hopped out the bed, walked her naked ass past him, and into the bathroom. Shine loved her heart-shaped yellow booty. He followed Faith into the bathroom. He opened the bathroom door. Faith was on the toilet looking at Shine. Post us and wake them bitch up. This shit ain't no fucking hotel. Nancy's heels echoed as she walked down the large hallway, followed by her two assistants. She arrived at the Federal Attorney General's office on time, which was early, and she did not plan on waiting. I know you're a busy man. It's my pleasure, never too busy for Homeland or an old friend. Please, what can I help with? The general said to Nancy. He sat back in his oversized chair and looked over at Nancy. She rested her hands on the large desk and focused all her energy on the general. This website is getting out of control. 140 missing girls on this site, all positive matches this month alone. We have to shut it down. I understand. Look, what would stop another Zuckerberg type from opening up another site? The general retorted. We can set an example. Nancy challenged. Did you see what we did to Craigslist? They were selling babies and fucking body parts, for Christ's sake. Whoever is running this site, by our account, are law-abiding citizens. There is simply no evidence to go on, the general said to Nancy. I will find your evidence, and when do I want them shut down? The general watched Nancy storm out his office. Blase pulled up to 595 in his new white BMW. He sparked a blunt and sat low in the driver's seat. Walking back from the store, Shine spotted a white BMW
2 minutes, 2 minutes,
parked
2
in
minutes,
front of
2
his
minutes.
spot. He walked past the car and took a peek. Blase rolled the window down. You Shine dipped down to see who was in the car. Yo, who'd that? Shine said he didn't want to get too close. Me nigga. Blase pulled his hoodie down. Oh shit, me nigga, what's goody, my guy? Shine hopped in the car and Blase passed him the blunt. What's good, nigga? Blase said. Ain't shit, bro. Got this shit going. That about it. Yeah, nigga. I heard about that. Shine didn't react to the information he just got. He thought about saying something, but he let it slide. Yo, I gotta go handle this shit upstairs. Pull up. Shine and Blase got out the car and went inside. I see you, brah, Blase said, seating next to Kay on the futon. Faith looked at Blase and then at Shine. Shine nodded, saying, this nigga cool. She frowned, her face up still. Over the past couple of weeks, Shine and Faith have been building this mental bond. Sometime they could speak without saying a word. Yo, this where the money at, bro, Blase said, pulling on the blunt. Shine just nodded. Yo, I got something for you. Drop it off later. 8, no doubt, Shine said to Blase. Ladies, it was nice to meet y'all. Shine, my brother, I'm a holla at you. Blase got up off the futon and passed his blunt to Kay. Kay took it and looked at Blase. He was fresh, to say the less. He rocked blue jeans and a Gucci hoodie, a bust-down Cuban chain, and a plain Jane rollie. Kay got up. I'll walk you out, she said to Blase. We all looked at her. Bitch, if you don't sit your ass down, Faith said to Kay. Shine and Blase started to laugh. They dapped up and Blase walked out the spot. Oh, I see you didn't tell nobody about this, Faith said. Nah, Shine said. Good, 'cause people get jealous real quick. I know that. I keep my shit.
Shout out the biggest.
Niggas be
Shout out.
Anyway. Fuck that though. Yo, Wassett.
Shout out Henry.
Today, Shine asked.
Shout out User. Shout out Woody Peterson. Shout out Val. Shout out Positive Vibes.
With her usual attitude. Shine looked around the spot. Yo, where Kool-Aid she went to get her baby case said. Get where she bringing it? Shine wanted to know. Here she ain't got no babysitter, and her mom's probably tryna go get high or some shit. Her baby daddy locked up, so I don't know her cousin watching. Sometimes she be tryna go out and all that though. And that boy cry all day, Kay said while still looking at her phone. Where's she at now? Shine asked. She on her way here. I think she took the train, Faith said. Shine pulled up to the train station and parked in front. Kool-Aid was still on the J train coming to the Van Sicklen train stop. Kool-Aid had her baby in her left arm and a big baby bag in the other. Her baby boy was a handsome little man, but his shirt, hoodie, and coat was covered in red Kool-Aid stains.
Pick him
His
up.
cornrows needed some love too.
Okay, we can stop
He
here.
was a very
We stopping right here when Kool-Aid get picked up by Sean and they go to the house. Nothing really happens. Nothing crazy happens. This is when the scene of him having the baby in the tub. That was traumatic for me in real life, but it was like we needed an extra room, and with the extra room we needed, because that day I guess she had a baby that day, and I'm like, why you got your baby here when we working? And so she needed extra room, so we pulled the we basically, like, it's like a 1 bedroom studio, so it's like a room in the back and a studio in the front. So we just move our stuff, our personal shit, into the bathroom to do this one date. And we sitting in there and it be like, damn, we ain't gonna be in here for like an hour, bro. And we sitting in there and it was like, damn, we wanna smoke. And I'm like, damn, bro, we can't even wait for an hour. And that's exactly what happened. We opened the window, put the baby in the tub, and we smoked in the bathroom, and it was bad, but it's real shit. Um, okay. We did the songs. We're gonna do that every day. We doing that every day. We did the songs. After the songs, we basically gonna just watch shit, bro. I'm gonna watch 2 videos, react to it. I'm not watching. What? This bitch slapped the dildo on a nigga while they was rapping.
It's your boy OG, and this is the Cooking Podcast on the OGTV Network. This episode is about Queen Vixen. Now, we got Queen Vixen on the grill today because she went viral. Now,
a dick.
Hey, yo, watch
it's
this.
not viral to me. It's disgusting. I'm going to play the clip for you
Let me see.
so you can see what's going on.
Years biblically, but want a woman to submit. But want a woman to submit. Well, I'm very much a lady. Nigga, suck my dick. Y'all just showboat. No dirt. Gang niggas. No checks. Carrying butter.
She
Now, you
slapped
see
him
the
with a
clip.
dick,
Now, I
bro.
just want to show you these comments. Now, these comments are pretty much how fans, how, battle rappers, how everybody is feeling about this clip, you know what I'm saying, of this battle between Queen Vixen and Vino.
He hit her with a she hit him with a dildo, bro.
As you can see, people are like, yo, this shit is ass. This shit is a 2-pack of ass. Terrible.
It's not even that. It's the fact that once you think you could do that to me, that's already one. But the other part is, how the fuck do you think you could? Why are you so masculine, bro? Like, at every given point, if a nigga, the farthest niggas go half of the time, like, it's verbal with the battle rap girl. They call her a pussy stink. You call man bodies. You a hoe. You know what I mean? You don't take care of your kids. Cool. And they fight for you. Got a little dick, nigga. You got you burning. You ain't got no money. You broke. But when you start pulling out dildos to smack a nigga with inside a battle rap, you tripping, bro. You all the way tripping, bro. You all the way tripping. It's not even. That shit not even a funny thing, bro. But hey, alright, cool. Jordan Peterson versus 20 Atheists. Oh, I'm listening. I'm watching that. I'm watching that. And then, yeah, I'm going to see what comes on after that. Because I like this nigga. He's a funny nigga. what's his name?
Imagine
Jordan
being able to
Peterson.
build
He's
anything
funny.
just by
He
thinking
be
about
smashing
it.
them.
Leap Base 44.
Let's watch this.
AI creation
Let's
platform.
watch this.
You're a Christian. You say that. I haven't claimed that.
Oh, what is this? Is this Christians versus atheists?
Don't be a smartass.
Either you're a Christian or you're not. Which one is it?
You're really quite something, you are.
Aren't I? But you're really quite nothing. Right? You're not a Christian.
Okay, I'm done with him.
Whoa!
Hello there. I'm Dr. Jordan Peterson.
He said, okay, I'm done with him.
I'm a psychologist, professor emeritus at the University of Toronto, broadcaster, and speaker, and today I'm surrounded by 25 atheists.
Atheists. Is any females up there? Female atheists? I'm trying to see.
My first claim.
I'm keeping it a buck. I don't
reject God, but they don't understand what they're rejecting.
Oh, good one. So he said that atheists reject God, but they don't understand what they rejecting.
Good afternoon, Dr. Peterson. So this claim here that atheists don't know what they're rejecting. My background is in studying to become a traditional Catholic priest, daily mass, daily rosary, going on long retreats, deep into the magisterium and biblical hermeneutics, like I was thoroughly in it. And it seems like I do know what I'm missing. Is there something that I missed over years of study, both this issue formally and living out religion so deeply?
Well, you obviously feel that you missed something when you were practicing for the priesthood. Your aim was off then. So there's always the possibility that it's still off now.
What was off about my aim in the first place?
I don't know. That might take a long time to figure out.
But then it seems kind of like this no true Scotsman type of fallacy in which you're the arbiter of people's aims and how they understand those aims to be. How is it that you can claim that people don't know something that you know about their life despite not having met them?
Well, it's obviously a generic claim, just like the atheists claim that there's no God is a generic claim. In your case, it would have to be specified more, and I'm not claiming to understand what was going on in your mind, but my experience with atheists is twofold. Is that they have a very reductive notion of what constitutes God, let's say in the Judeo-Christian tradition, and they've often been hurt by someone who was religious, or by the religious enterprise, or perhaps by God himself, so to speak, and that's left them with an animus.
But I think that you have a reductive view of what atheism is. You've defined religion so broadly to include any sort of having aim in life, any sort of cultural archetypes, or having a metaphorical substrate. And atheism to you is a very specific type of like three.
I feel like you could believe in what you want. Well, you could not believe or believe in what you want. I don't think that's the thing there, because, you know, I think it's a lot of Asian religions is they believe in everything. You know, God is in everything. If I'm not, I don't want to mess up and say Asians are they're not Christians and stuff, but majority of the basis of a Asian religion is like God is in everything. So it's not like they saying God is everything, but he's in everything. He's in inanimate objects, the toy, the this, the that, the this. So that's just saying what God is more widespread. But that's still, when you don't believe in one, you know, like a Muslim or Christian, then I feel like that's when you're like, oh, you gotta believe in one. Now you're like, bruh, relax. But if you say you don't believe in nothing at all, other than like your mother and father who created you and brought you into this world, there is no overseer. There is no secret mind in the sky, you know, orchestrating these plots and watching over you. You do good, you do bad. I don't think there's no actionary situation where the person take the being take action. He maybe got some things in some type of timeline, like in 30 years this is gonna happen, in 1,000 years this is gonna happen. But in between that time, free for all. You could do what you want. You gotta follow these rules that I sort of gave to you in some type of way. I believe in them angels. I believe in the angels. When I say angels, that's evil angels, and you know, there is the devil is one person. That's the angel Lucifer. But when you got angels, they could be evil or good. What's an angel? So if the devil start producing angels, is it call them demons? Well, don't they fly? Don't they do everything else? Can't they, interact with you just like an angel. So they really just the same thing, but it's just a different vibe. So for you to be an atheist, I don't want to say hurt, but it's something innately in you to say it's nothing. So if your arm get cut up, your leg get hurt. Oh shit, damn! Like I don't care. When you beg and you plead, you don't just plead for yourself or your energy or your inner spirit to take the pain away. You be like, God, take this pain away. Oh my God, take the pain away. It's an actionary thing. You got hit by a car, but you beg God to take the pain away. So I feel like even in your when even if an atheist was in the worst possible situation, they go to jail for some crazy heinous shit. Now they stuck in a hole and they can't even see the light because that's the sentence they got. You get what I'm saying? 24-hour locked in. You want to murder kids, nigga? 24-hour locked in. You don't see nobody. You don't talk to nobody. And them dark fucking cells when them rats and them fucking roaches is biting on you and you wet and all type of shit. You can't see the light in months. You gonna have a relationship with God. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. You're gonna have a relationship
People
with
in
God.
the world that are these Raskolnikov type of...
You're gonna talk to God.
They want to get away with the perfect murder. It seems like you have the reductive view of what an atheist is.
Well, let's start with your claim.
Mm-hmm.
How do you define the God that you're rejecting? Like, what is God to you? You studied in the church, you found that unsatisfactory. How would you characterize what you rejected?
I think the average Christian believer, when they say that they're Christian and they believe, they mean some sort of God that is all-powerful, all-perfect, is somehow involved in the matters of this world.
Shout out Atlas, shout out Renee, shout out Bad Duka, shout out Nicely, shout out Guzman, shout out Taco.
Christian says that they believe in a religion. And there are as many gods out there as there are believers because everybody has mutually exclusive and different views of what God is.
He didn't literally answer his question.
If everybody had mutually exclusive views of what God is, no one could speak to each other. The mere fact of communication presumes a commonality of assumption and definition. And it's certainly not the case that I regard any archetypal manifestation whatsoever as equally religious. So that's not a real claim. Let me give you an example. For example, there's a sub-narrative in the story of Moses where Moses is rewarded with a glimpse of God. Okay? And that's one of the ways that God is characterized in the Old Testament stories.
Yes.
Now, Moses is a faithful servant of God and a good man. At least that's the case within the confines of the story.
Impossible interpretation.
It's the case within the confines of the story, obviously. But
obviously. When we look at the Bible can't precisely say anything because there are so many different exegetical and hermeneutic views of this particular book, and that everybody has everybody has disagreed historically on. It seems like even the most benign detail about a book this big. And it seems like you can only say that the Bible says something if you first presuppose that it's univocal.
So your claim essentially is that Moses in the Old Testament plays the role of the villain or is irrelevant? Because the alternative claim
I'm saying that we
is
can't
good.
know. Because we can't talk to those authors.
If you are going to start with the presupposition that there's nothing I can say about any of these stories that you're not going to disagree with from the perspective that there are multiple potential competing claims, then I can't speak with you. So
we also have a short time here, so I want to get to the core of what you're arguing here, and I'd love if we could...
The core of what I'm arguing is that atheists reject God, but they don't understand what they're rejecting. So I'm trying to give you an example of what's being rejected and its complexity. Okay, so God rewards Moses with a glimpse of the divine. So this is a definition of the God that atheists are hypothetically rejecting.
A possible one.
I said I didn't say the. I said
That is possible, yes.
They want to be so.
Help your friends get.
It's like these niggas want to be so right that they not even letting a person fully explain.
So despite the fact that Moses is a stellar character and he's had a long and difficult life and can withstand a lot of difficulty and travail, God puts him between two cliffs. So he can just see a crack of what's in front of him. And when God walks by, he allows him to see his back. Okay, so the implication of that story is that the divine is fundamentally unknowable, it's a pinnacle experience, and that people in their finitude have to be shielded from a comprehensive vision of the basis of reality. Well, that's not the God that's defined in that manner, right? It's not a simple personification. It's not a simple old man in the sky. It's something that, in its essence, is unknowable and overwhelming, and that isn't, in my experience, the God that's defined by atheists who are attempting to undermine the story. I mean, it's the same claim, for example, that you're a finite creature, and that you face something that in the final analysis is unknowable, and that you have to establish a relationship with it regardless of your inability to perceive or even withstand perceiving the whole. Okay, is there a problem with that?
I mean, the problem is that when we look at, famously, when you've been asked, do you believe in God, the question becomes, what do we mean by God? And in the Bible, it's not even clear if the biblical authors know what God is, because Yahweh has historically emerged from an early storm god, a deity that doesn't exhaust the category of deity, and it has changed over the Old Testament. Does God have physicality? Does God not have physicality? It seems like, yes, if you define religion to mean anybody that has an aim, anybody that looks at the unknown, anybody who wants to go from chaos to order is inherently religious, then yes. But also in the same way, I could define atheist as somebody who doesn't dogmatically believe in a religion, or somebody who doesn't regularly attend religious services or belong to a denomination. To help especially the audience kind of like boil this down, there's a lot of words there. The central claim is that we exist somewhere between the finite and the infinite.
Central claim.
A central claim is that we exist somewhere between the finite and the infinite.
No, I said that we were finite and we had to establish a relationship with the infinite.
Yeah, then in that case, then we're all religious, but then I can do the same thing and define one particular element of atheism. And it seems like we both have a reductive view of what the other side looks like, to the point where a conversation seems incoherent, and not just incoherent, but not in the way that the average Christian understands Christianity to be.
Do you have a problem
Let's pause there. Sorry, you've been voted out by the majority.
That was good. That was good. That was good. Who made it?
Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you,
David.
David, good to see you.
Tell me everything that you know about the Polynesian deity Lono, L-O-N-O.
I don't know anything about the Polynesian deity Lono.
So you're rejecting something without knowledge of what you're rejecting.
I'm not rejecting it.
Do you-
No more than I'm rejecting
do you believe in
anything that
Lono?
I don't know anything
Do you
about.
believe in Lono?
I
Do you
fail to
believe
see
that
the
he is a
relevance of
deity
that.
that exists in the world, exists in the universe, that exists in the existence of everything? Do you believe that Lono
I'll
is
answer
a
that
deity?
question once you answer my question, which is, do I reject everything that I'm ignorant of? Because
No.
that's your presupposition that undergirds your argument, and unless you can prove that that's valid, then there's no point presuming.
My question
Yeah.
is quite simple.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Do
mean
you
it's
believe-
formulated accurately.
Do you believe that Lono exists? Yes or no?
I'm not.
He's not sure who Lono is.
For the reasons I just described. You already insisted that if I reject something, that if I'm ignorant of something, I reject it. Do you
Yeah.
think that everyone in the world has to know everything simultaneously for that to be valid and true?
I think in order for your
Answer that
argument
question.
to be true, in order for it to be true that we atheists don't understand what we're rejecting, then you need to also apply that to yourself and to Christians and to Muslims and to any other person on this earth,
No.
where if you don't understand what you're rejecting the belief
No.
in, then you can't reject the belief in it. That's the implication of your
I
claim.
didn't say that I rejected the belief in Lono. I
It's-
said I
it's
didn't
Lono.
know who Lono was. I didn't say anything about rejecting.
That's because I've asked you several times and you haven't, but let me get to my even greater point.
Mhm.
You're saying atheists don't understand what religion is or what God is in order to be able to reject it fully or completely. We have someone over here who studied it. in
Shout
their
out
own way.
Mary
I have
Mo
studied religion. I have a
Mukau.
degree in religious studies, specialty in Christianity and Mediterranean traditions. And further than that, beyond me, Pew Research studies suggest that atheists and agnostics actually know more about religion and about religious stories, the foundational principles, than believers.
That's because they're more religious than they think they are.
Okay, you can.
They're concerned with deep matters, and one of the defining characteristics of someone who's oriented in religious direction is that they're concerned with deep matters.
Okay.
In fact, it's virtually definition.
Right, but they also have to identify with a religious tradition and accept
No.
the
No.
foundational stories
No.
that go along
Well,
with
that
it.
would
No.
mean more that they're sectarian than that they're religious. And most people, for example, in the United States, deny that they're religious but accept that they're spiritual.
Pause there. You've been voted
Nah,
out.
he was doing bad. He was doing bad. He was being way too forceful. He was being way too forceful. Yeah, chat. He was being way too forceful, chat. That
Aha! Hi, nice to meet you.
How are you doing?
Good, how are
What's your
you?
name?
I'm Greg. Nice to meet you.
Greg.
Okay, so I feel like you're getting at this idea of polysemy, where we have multiple related meanings for a word, right? Like, for example, a famous painting can be emotionally moving in that it changes my emotional state. And when I was on the highway coming here to the studio, I was physically moving. I was changing my position. If I said, I believe the Mona Lisa is very moving, and you said, you don't really understand what you're saying, it's nailed to the wall, I would say that you're the one who doesn't understand what I'm saying, not the other way around. And the way that relates to this is there are many concepts of God, and I'll admit, I find a lot of what you say about that interesting. I'm familiar with it. The idea of this kind of Jungian hierarchical thing, or as a metaphor, or a symbol, or the kind of, atheist, materialist, literalist idea of a agentic, omnipotent, omniscient being that intervenes in reality, right? So when I'm saying that I reject the concept of God, I'm aware of these other definitions of God, but I think that when we use words, we tend to only imply one meaning at a time. So the same way that
What up, King
I would
Lobster?
say the Mona Lisa
Lobster King.
is
What's up?
moving
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up?
but I would not
Shout
say
out Kit.
it's moving physically. I would
Shout out
say
Twitch.
I
What's up,
reject
Twitch?
the concept of God in this very literal way. But
What literal way?
the way that God is this omniscient, omnipotent, agentic, supernatural being that sent his son down and has, caused miracles and all these things like that. The idea of God is
Do you
like,
think that there's an underlying unity of things?
Shout out Cat. Shout out Official. Shout out Mick
Well,
Clan
scientists,
2.
for example, believe that
Shout out
science
Taco.
unifies in a comprehensive theory. Do you? Yes? No? Or
I
that
know
there are
that people-
multiple competing truths?
Yeah, if you
Those are
come
the
here, yo,
options.
let me know where y'all
Either
from
unified,
and drop some
Or
likes.
there are multiple competing truths.
I think that, I know that, for example, like
What up,
in
Lobster
physics,
King?
people
What's
are
good?
looking
What's good?
for
What's
the
good?
theory of
What's good?
everything.
And why do you think they're doing that?
It's interesting, it's helpful.
But they also believe that there's an underlying unity to things.
In a sense, yeah, like the material world and time and space are probably governed by universal laws and principles.
Partly that, yes, yes, but that the same thing might extend to a broader domain that would include imagination and value.
Could you help me connect that to the prompt?
I'm trying to define God, the God
Yeah.
that I don't think atheists do a very good job of defining. Here's another question for you. What do you think guides you in your determination of whether or not what you're saying to me is true?
Can we go back? Can we stay on what we were talking about?
We are.
Okay.
You're just uncomfortable with the question.
No, I feel like you're just kind of throwing different spaghetti at the wall.
I'm not.
Okay.
I asked
All
you a
right.
very specific question. What is it that you think guides you when you're talking to me to help you determine whether what you say is true?
Logic, memory, reasoning,
Yeah.
sensory information.
How do you distinguish that from being governed by something that's false?
Mm.
It's an interesting question.
How do you know the difference when you speak between what's true and what's false? So you can imagine
Infer, right? I can infer. I can.
from what principles?
So, and what are you getting at?
I'm getting at the fact that your conscience guides you. Is that
Okay.
reasonable?
Conscious is defined by
Conscience.
my empathy and my reason, or my foundational.
Define it any way you want.
Okay, so that's how I'm defining my conscience. Is my, my conscience is my sense of,
Right
and wrong. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah,
Where
yeah.
does that come from?
I would say that comes from an evolved capacity to empathize and a recognition of the
Fear.
benefits of
No.
engaging with and
Fear.
nurturing that
Straight
capacity.
fear.
And then that empathy is constrained and guided by reason, right?
You don't go to jail, you don't get in trouble, you don't get sued, you don't want anybody to think you're a bad person. So you fear certain things, so that's why you do it on a normal basis. You fear.
right? So that's
scared.
sort of the process through which
That's why
I
you
make
act
ethical
nice,
decisions.
act
So
good.
this is the constrained environment.
And naturally,
You
if
think
you
that
didn't
people
fear
can
nothing, you didn't
differ
scare
in
nothing, if
response
you
to
knew nobody
something
could touch you,
empathically?
physically,
Is
nobody
there
could
a
physically touch
mediating
you.
principle
You
that
would
can
be a
tell you
demon.
one person is
You would do
empathic
fucked
and
up
another
shit
person is
until
empathic that
you
disagree?
realize
Who's correct?
you didn't
Interesting.
want to do
Yeah,
fucked
I
up shit no
that's where
more.
we'd have to, talk it out, right? We do that in real life.
If you
all
was
the time.
born
We
with not wanting to do
have,
nothing
whether it's a
bad,
discussion with a friend
then you
about the right
Jesus.
thing to do in a situation,
If that's
whether
not
it's
the
policy
case,
discussion about law, right?
nigga, you
where
got a girlfriend, you
we
want to fuck
converse
another
with each
girl,
other, think
you're
about
not
things,
Jesus.
explain our perspectives, and then kind of reach
You don't
a
want to
conclusion,
share,
right? That
you're not
we do it all the
Jesus.
time.
You want
So
all the money,
Elijah,
you're not
the prophet
Jesus.
Elijah defined
You just not.
God in the Old Testament as the
Until
voice
you
of conscience
until you
within.
evolve into that.
That's
You
the
could
definition.
evolve into
So
that.
you're
I break
saying
bread with
by
everybody.
that definition of God, I see this is kind of goes back to what I'm saying initially.
I'm
where
not defining it. Elijah
okay,
defined
so
it.
as Elijah defines
It's
God.
defined that way in Jonah too.
Okay, so as
Cardinal Newman also
got
defined
it.
it that
As
way.
I'm sure you know many people who defined it that way. And it's impressive. You're a very knowledgeable person.
I'm not trying to be impressive. I'm
okay.
just pointing out to you
Got
how
it.
God is defined in the Old
Okay.
Testament.
All right.
He
So
loses.
to respond to that, I do think there are lots of interesting ways to define God. And that goes back to my kind of
Then
opening
how do
statement.
we specify what
What
we're
up,
defining
hi,
as
hi,
God?
what up,
We use
hi?
context clues, or we
What up,
or we again it goes
Tree?
back to my example
Good
of
We're
problem,
motivation.
Tree.
defining God as conscience.
Okay, so that's interesting, but then you're kind of expanding the meaning of
No, I'm
God.
not. That's how it's defined in the Old Testament.
Okay,
in
so-
Elijah and in Jonah.
Sure. So
Yeah.
whoever, so
It's
some.
not whoever.
Okay.
Elijah is one of the
Okay.
major
All right.
Old Testament
All right.
prophets.
All right.
He's equal in stature to
Okay.
Moses.
Okay.
Right. So it's not arbitrary.
All right. So that is interesting, but it's not relevant to the context with which I am using the term God.
It's directly relevant. Atheists reject God, but they don't
Right, but
understand
you-
what they're rejecting.
you're
You
being-
accept conscience as a guide, and conscience is one of the defining characteristics of
I-
God in the Old Testament.
I think you're being intellectually disingenuous
In what way?
because again,
I asked you if you believe
hey,
that conscience guided you.
You just asked me a question and then you stopped me from answering it. In this setting, you understand the way I am using the term God and belief.
Not
then
in the
you're-
least. I don't understand how you're using it in the least. That's why I'm trying to define it. My definition of God as conscience is a lot more precise and oriented than
But-
your definition of the God that you
But
hypothetically disbelieve in.
it's irrelevant to the fault lines of this debate.
How is it irrelevant?
Because in common parlance, when we're talking about atheists, God, belief, not belief,
I
we're
don't
not
care
talking.
about common parlance. I'm trying to get to something fundamental.
I think your point is irrelevant to the way that people tend
Which
to use
point?
these words. Your point that there are these polysemous
I didn't make
ideas
that
of God.
point. You did.
I
I made a
I
specific
characterized
point
it,
that God
right.
was associated with conscience.
I just feel like
Yeah.
you're trying to retreat into this semantic fog.
I'm not retreating at all. I'm advancing, sir. You are retreating.
Yes,
Well, it was very nice.
he smoked him. He said, I am not retreating, sir. I'm advancing, nigga. You retreating, nigga. I'm moving my troops up. You running.
Available wherever you listen.
Yeah, that was
Search
fire. I like
Surrounded,
that.
Plug in and stay part of the conversation.
It took me time to really realize what I was gonna watch. But I said, bro, I don't watch the same thing everybody
My
watch.
next
So
claim is that
I'm just gonna just do that, bro. I'm not watching the latest
within science.
Hova House, whatever the fuck, A&P. I'm not saying it's bad. I watch them, but I'm just gonna watch what I like to watch.
Mr. Canada.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Brian, I think it's interesting that you said that morality and purpose can't be found in science. Actually,
Within science.
sure. Purpose, I actually grant you, because purpose is subjective, right? Unless you want to boil it down to the purpose of life is just to procreate, right? Sure, whatever. Morality is actually something that we do see. We actually have examples of Neanderthals, and older individuals found in a tribe, missing an arm, missing teeth, still alive somehow in his 40s, 50s, right? Typically, you're a Neanderthal, you can't eat, you can't hunt, you die, right? But we know that members of the tribe retain character, right? So we know that at some level, early in our evolutionary history, we actually developed altruism. We have examples of chimpanzees who actually have a basic understanding of fairness, right? If you give a chimpanzee 2 grapes, right, and his buddy gets 3, right? He actually freaks out, right? But you give both chimps 3 grapes and they're good. We have examples of parrots.
Except for the greedy chimps.
Except for the greedy
They
chimps.
want 4 grapes.
They want 4 grapes, you know, right? But we have similar examples where we do animal tests, right? And
So morality is intrinsic.
I think
So it precedes
I think that actually a better way to define it is that social animals, right, require some level of morality.
I'm not
Sure.
why do they require that?
Because it's the only way that solar systems can actually survive, right?
That's my point with
Sure.
regards to science. Thank you very much.
Is that
Precisely the point that you just made, that science has to exist within a moral framework that isn't in itself scientific.
how's that not scientific?
Well, because it's not derived from the scientific process, as you just
It
indicated.
doesn't
by
need to direct
pointing
the
to-
scientific process.
Well,
It's
hang
the
on,
fact that
hang on a second.
we are social animals and we need that to exist as a group.
I
right?
agree, but
Sure.
you pointed to the morality of Neanderthals, to the morality of chimpanzees.
Mhm.
They don't derive that from science.
They don't need to.
My point.
It explains it. So
No, science doesn't explain morality.
it doesn't explain how social animals would need to be.
Well, that's
Altruistic.
a complicated question.
Is it? But we see it though.
Yeah, but explaining the evolution of morality and explaining morality itself aren't the same thing.
Oh, if you're asking why does this happen?
Yes, that's more accurate.
Because we're social animals.
Yeah, but there's more to it than that.
Is there?
Sure, for example, so we're moral animals that have a sense of the future.
Sure.
Okay, that makes us unique, and that structures our morality.
No, actually, there are other animals that can predict the future. Or
Not
not predict
really.
the future. No, tigers. Actually, there was a tiger at the SF Zoo that killed somebody. And so
Hunting
actually,
animals, like,
no. Kids threw shit at the tiger. The tiger actually plotted its escape, and it found the
I'm not
kids.
saying that animals can't think.
Okay,
No, but they
let's
can
pause
see
here.
the future. That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Voted out by the majority.
That was good.
good man. Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
How you
How are
doing?
you doing,
My
man?
name's Luke. Nice to meet
Good
you.
to see you, Luke.
So your claim that morality and purpose can only be found in science is a little shaky because I think that your claim is really being framed to be morality and purpose can only be found in religion. Is that how you're kind of framing it?
I would say that the domain of religion is the domain of morality and purpose. Yes,
Okay.
exactly. And also that science is actually structured, at least in part technically, to eliminate such considerations from its purview a priori.
Okay.
Right? That's why we define science as value-free.
Mm-hmm.
But that has to be wrong because scientists have to prioritize their attention towards something before they can even engage in observation.
Okay.
And that act of prioritization of attention is a value-predicated act. And so I can continue, there's all sorts of things we have to assume
Yeah.
about science before it can take place.
Okay, so what I'm specifically pointing out here is about religion in particular, since you yourself are a Christian, right?
People debate about that, and I generally don't discuss it publicly.
Okay, I understand that. And me myself, I am a former young earth creationist fundamentalist.
Oh, yeah.
So I have experience in this. I used to run a TikTok channel directed about apologetics about the Bible, specifically in this type of facet with morality, evolution and such, and going back and forth with that. So in the Bible, it talks a lot about slavery, right?
Yes.
Yes. So in that, it teaches you how to take care of a slave. Rather than saying slavery's wrong, I think
No,
it
it
should
says
say
that in the story of Moses.
It says slavery is incorrect. It says
Well,
it's
that's
immoral.
why Moses leads his people away from slavery.
But why does the Bible predicate and tell people exactly how to take care of a slave? Isn't that
Well-
immoral? Wouldn't you say that culturally we've evolved as a species, as he said earlier about empathy?
Yeah, I would say that the reason we evolved, so to speak, away from slavery was because the West was founded on Judeo-Christian morality, and the presumption that every person was made in the image of God.
Wouldn't you
And so
say
slavery itself became immoral, and
Yeah.
that was established by Protestant Christians in the
Yes.
UK, who then convinced the
Yes.
UK government for 200 years to go to war on
And
slavery.
wouldn't you say that this is about the cultural evolution of humans in general, rather than just
No, I
Christianity?
think it's the
'Cause-
flowering of the ideas that were embedded in the biblical texts across long spans of time.
I feel like this is just humans editing based on the cultural evolution
And what do you
of
mean by
morality.
just?
Success Academy is the #1 K-12 charter school in New York City. #1 means excellence in arts and athletics. National chess masters, Broadway performer.
Just?
Yeah, just humans.
Well,
We
humans.
meditate.
Well, based on culture and history, right? We get better.
Well, they
in-
did do it based on culture and history, but
Yes.
culture and history have their foundations too, so.
Well, yeah, but we're talking about slavery.
Don't y'all
So many
see-
people bolstered
Kick.
it based on-
Can y'all stop these spam messages,
They
bro?
looked at it and they
Kick.
justified
Oh
it
my
in the
God.
United States
Kick is
and the
horrible,
South.
bro.
They justified
Kick
slavery.
all y'all
Yeah,
dropping
trust-
spam
we
messages,
trust
bro.
Protestant thought.
Kick is the worst, bro. While they dropping spam messages and niggas drop their motherfucking Discord on some stupid shit.
Which
Stupid.
was driven by humans.
The fuck
And
out
that
of here.
That's
understanding
one
of
way of
morality.
looking.
Twitch don't do that.
It's the same
Because
as
you
women
got real
suffrage.
people
I mean,
on Twitch.
The patriarchy.
If they gonna come in, look at it, like TikTok, they gonna fuck with you,
Yes,
then
exactly.
they gonna leave.
Also,
They
there's
not
no
dropping
argument.
spam messages.
Slavery and
What is wrong with these
anti-slavery
people?
were
I
both
hate
driven
Kick,
by
bro. They
humans. What
stupid.
does
But I love
enslavement
Kick. Shout out
driven by
Kick.
humans
I
have
love
to
you,
do with it?
Kick. Keep
Evolved
fucking with
morality
me.
based on the
Make me
culture
affiliate,
within
man. Come
the
on.
society that they live in.
Okay,
So
fine.
with
I think
women's
that
suffrage
did
as
happen.
well is a very similar topic in the Bible. There are denominations in Christianity, such as Pentecostal movement, which do bolster women to be pastors, right? Which I think that's a great thing to do. But most like to disregard
Where do you
women.
think the idea that human beings were sufficiently equal to all folk and not be slaves came from?
Humans.
Yeah, but so did the idea of slavery.
So did the
that's
idea of God.
fine, but what's your
Yes.
point? Like, you're not making an argument. You're just saying all thoughts come from humans,
Yes.
regardless of the thoughts.
It's not driven by a higher power. It's driven on our experiences
Define
as
higher.
humans, which is what is best for all people.
Is it driven by conscience?
It could be. Which
Okay.
conscious is also something that has evolved over time, and I think that's
What's
something
the
that
other-
does evolve with morality and empathy.
Okay, I don't understand the point that you're making.
My point is that God influenced slavery. People looked at the Bible and went, "This is moral because God says so." Just like women's suffrage,
There's lots
and
of
just like homosexuality.
all human societies were slave owning, so
Yes.
you can't blame that on the Bible.
if humanity
Yeah.
decided,
But wait, address that first.
what about
All
slavery?
human societies were slavers, so you can't blame that on the Bible.
All
Well, you can't say
African.
it bolstered it.
Well, not if you look at the broad sweep of history, because it was the Protestant Christians
Based
in
on
the
their
UK.
interpretation of the Bible,
It was the Protestant Christians.
which evolves over time.
Let's pause there. You've been voted out by the majority.
All right. Well, it was great talking
Yeah,
with you,
nice
sir.
talking to you.
You're not talking to nobody. You being debatable, being an asshole. Nigga, just because you talk faster doesn't mean you fucking winning.
Dr. Peterson?
Good to see you, man.
Pleasure.
What's your name?
Brian. So the first thing I would like to say is I would like to engage in this discussion in a symbiotic manner. I would not like to engage where there is one clear winner and one clear loser. Emotions are activated and it ultimately comes about ego. So I'm just saying I'm really trying to understand your position, and I would just like you to really try to understand my position.
Deal.
Okay, sounds good. With
That's
that,
good.
If you're saying that morality and
I like the way he
purpose
started
cannot
that.
come
That was
from
nice.
science, is the opposite of that true, that morality and purpose can only come from God?
That's a way of defining it, yes.
Okay.
That's right, that's good. So I would say that with regard to the first claim, say, atheists don't understand what they're rejecting, is I would say, by definition, God is the unity upon which moral claims are based. That's
Okay.
a definition.
Okay, if there is a God, what is the purpose of life?
Well, in the Christian tradition, the purpose of life is to engage in voluntary, upward, self-sacrifice, so that the kingdom of heaven can be established on earth.
So you're trying to make it to heaven and avoid hell.
Yes, that's
Okay.
a good way of thinking about
What
it.
is the purpose of heaven? Do you understand?
Well,
so here's the deal.
At
We
minimum,
can get
it's
into
the
an
opposite
infinite.
of endless suffering. How about
We
that?
can, okay, and so should we not try to achieve infinite suffering on planet Earth? And if we can achieve infinite suffering on planet Earth
You mean
without
avoiding
God,
it, you mean avoiding it.
avoiding it, if we can do that without God, then does that defeat your claim?
Well, yeah, except that it doesn't, you circumvented my initial definition, because I said that by definition, God was the unified source of morality. And so if we engage in a moral exercise.
When you're talking about morality, though, when you really reverse engineer it and you get it down to its root, you're a psychologist, it really seems like it just has to deal with motivation. People are saying there is a God, there
It's
is
more specific than that.
Well, so let me ask you this. So if there is a God and there is a moral code and it doesn't come at your benefit, are you going to follow it?
It depends on how you define your benefit. If you
If
define your benefit.
if it's going to come at your expense, would you still
Define
follow
your
it?
expense.
If God came down and said, here is my moral code and you should follow it, but even if you follow it, you are still going to end up in hell, are you going to follow it?
Well, that was the question that was put to Job and to Christ, right?
Yeah.
It is chunky salsa.
You're gonna get suffer
Authentic,
at my hands,
bold,
but it's for the greater good. Will you go through this with my child?
dip into it,
And
this
Jesus
chunky
and
salsa.
the other dude with,
Mexican
I think it was
is
Joseph.
this.
Because they were required, hang on, I'm answering your question. They were required to withstand trials that break anyone and maintain their upward orientation regardless.
And they did that with the motivation of believing that this omnipotent, all-loving God would somehow turn it into a benefit.
No.
So they still did
No.
it solely for their benefit.
No.
So when you...
No.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
Hang on. Let's define benefit. Like, if I did something for your sister, would that be to your benefit? Like, how are you defining your benefit? Do you mean one of your whims gratified now? Or do you mean you and everyone you love and know over some reasonable span of time?
So when you're talking about whims, I think you're talking about something that's more dopamine. When you're talking about morality, you're talking about something that's more serotonin and more ultimately satisfying. So you and I agree on a lot. I mean, when it comes to talking about how men should be masculine and things of that nature, you and I are 100% in agreement. We just don't agree on the justification that God is the only thing that provides morality.
It's not a justification, it's a definition.
What's the difference then between a definition and a justification? I mean, it's ultimately psychologically the same thing.
Well, we have to define what we're talking about before we can just debate.
Okay, well,
right?
so here's my
I
position.
said that God, among other things.
I'm actually a non-theist. I'm not an atheist. I believe the human condition is one of uncertainty. And what that means is that I don't believe that you can conclude there is a God with certainty, and I don't believe that you can conclude that there is a God without in the same position. Now, with that, I don't care. I still wake up every day and I have motivation to be a moral person.
Define moral.
Moral, what I ought to do.
Okay, how do you come to that
And what I ought to do, ultimately it comes down to what not just benefits me, but what benefits the entire planet, what benefits the entire system. I think that your entire moral perspective comes from linear thinking, and when you look at the reality of the universe, it's actually more so holistic. So when you look at how Aristotle defined God, when he said that there had to be an unmoved moved or an uncaused cause, he was defining God from a linear perspective, and you do the same with morality, and you do the same with purpose.
How does my definition of morality hypothetically differ from yours?
Because you're saying that there's something that exists in a vacuum, that it exists in and of itself, and nothing in the universe exists in a vacuum. Nothing exists in and of itself. It's a whole systems-based morality. It's a systems-based reality.
Is there a hierarchical structure? Is there a hierarchical structure? Are some things more important than others?
Are some things? I think that some things lead to more benefits than others.
Then, by your own definition, some things
are more important
than others.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is
there? You've been voted out.
Damn, that was good. That was good. Damn, they should let him finish, bro. They should let him fucking finish, man. Damn. That was a good one. I like that.
I guess since the morality and purpose cannot be found in science, it would just depend on like what you're referencing. If you're saying a description of your psychological preferences would be considered within science, sure. But I don't think that you have to say that it comes from science in order to be like an atheist. As an agnostic atheist, I don't know if God exists, and I don't believe that a God exists. And the only ones that I would really reject would be like the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good, perfect notion of God that plenty of Christians like prescribe themselves. So I guess
how is that relevant to this claim?
You're basing a position of morality and purpose in some notion of God that isn't the same type of notion of God that typical Christians would prescribe. Your notion of God is...
What typical Christians?
Yeah, typically when I talk to Christians, they say that they believe in an all-knowing...
How about Cardinal Newman, who defined God as conscience? He's a major influence on all of Catholic social theory. How about that Christian?
Sure. So do you believe in the all-knowing, all-powerful, all-good notion of God?
What do you mean by believe?
Do you think it to be true?
That's the circular definition. What do you mean when you say you believe?
How is that circular?
Because you added no content to the answer by substituting the word true and believe.
I said you think it to be true.
All right. So if you believe something, you stake your life on it.
What do you mean by that?
You live for it?
You die for it.
That's what I mean by that.
Believe.
It's something that you say. It isn't something that's associated with logical consistency. It's not declarative. It's not propositional. It's not a figment of your imagination. It's the presupposition of your attention and your action. And you're either fragmented, in which case you worship multiple gods, or there's some unity at the bottom of it that makes you an unstoppable force.
Okay, so you're saying that you don't believe something if you wouldn't die for it?
Not really, no.
Okay. So then,
How would you define belief? Something
Yeah.
you say?
okay, so I explain. Like, I could believe it is the case that this pen exists, but if someone like threatened my life, right, I would lie in order to be able to save my life, right? Like I think you would do that too. You wouldn't lie to save your
Don't be
life.
so sure.
You wouldn't lie to save your life.
How much do you know about me? I didn't lie to save my career. I didn't lie to save my clinical practice.
You lie to like save your children, your mom, your dad.
I don't think lying would save them.
Can there ever be a circumstance logically that lying could save them?
Yeah, and if you're steeped in sin, you're likely to live in circumstances
Yep.
like that.
I'll give you an example. If you're like in like Nazi Germany, and it is the case that there's like Jewish people in your attic and you're trying to
I know
protect
the
them,
example.
would you lie to like the Nazis? if
I
the
would have
Nazis-
done everything I bloody well could, so I wouldn't be in that
Would
situation
you
to
lie?
begin with. It's a hypothetical, and it's
You
not
can't answer
answerable.
hypotheticals?
No, I can't answer a hypothetical like
Why?
that because
Did
it's
you eat
fun.
today?
Discover your new Acura
Baby up,
right
baby
now
up,
at
baby
Marathon
up, baby
Acura.
up.
Come lease a 2025 Acura
Making
TLX
breakfast, I'll be
for
back.
$459 per month for 48 months. Now during Summer of Performance event. Visit us
Making
today
breakfast,
at Paragon
and I'll be
Acura.
right back.
Look,
Did you eat
don't
today?
play games.
I'm not playing games.
Yes, you. If you present me with an intractable moral choice that's stripped of context and you back me into a corner, you're playing game. I just told you I would do everything that I could to make sure that I'm never in that situation. By the time you've got there, you've made so many mistakes that there's nothing you can do that isn't a sin.
Being born in Nazi Germany and trying to protect people that you care about, like there could be a Jewish friend that you have, and you want to protect them.
I think you should
have
just
them in
give
your
up on
attic.
that line of questioning.
Give up on just like trying to clarify your position? Because you
I
don't
did
like, are you like
clarify.
uncomfortable with me asking this question? It's just a basic hypothetical. Like I could ask you.
It's just a basic
Yeah, yeah.
hypothetical
Like, you-
where you're,
like,
you
if you-
put Jews' lives at stake in Nazi Germany. That's just a basic
Yeah,
hypothetical.
obviously, you would lie in that scenario to save their life, but you're like not trying to answer this question
What's
for some reason.
I just told you why.
Are you anti-fascist? Like, so you're
Why are you
anti-fascist?
asking that?
I was just asking, just clarifying. But like, okay, again, you're not answering this hypothetical because you know it shows that you clearly would lie to save
I'm
someone's life.
answering it in a
Obviously, that's
manner
not
you
what truth
don't
is.
find acceptable.
Obviously, because I care about
you're-
truth.
I wouldn't be in that scenario.
Obviously, right? Logically, because that's
No.
already happened. Like that's in the past. You don't have a time to travel device. We're bringing this logical hypothetical up to show you that in some circumstances that do happen within the real world, you would lie to save people's lives. So your definition of truth isn't actually how we're typically using it. So what you're trying to do is you're trying to muddy the waters when I ask you, like, do you believe this? Do you think this to be true? So you don't actually have to answer the questions. And plenty of Christians don't like that because they clearly see that you don't really like want to be associated with
I can
Christianity.
imagine that I was in a situation where the best I could do as a consequence of my previous mistakes was to tell the least amount of lie I could manage. But that would likely indicate that I had made all sorts of catastrophic errors on my way there.
So you would lie to save someone's life. So again, you do believe it to be true in that circumstance, even though you like lied in that scenario. So
Not
clearly that's
without the
what you see to be true.
context that I put it in.
You were not willing to
I
die for it.
said-
You were not willing to let other people die for it. So that's not what you see to be true then, seemingly.
You're doing exactly what I said you were doing at the beginning of the conversation. You're generating an impossible, restricted, hypothetical with no precursors to back you into a
How is
corner.
it possible? Is there something contradictory about it? Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you. My next claim is that everybody worships something, including atheists, even though they might not know it.
Hi.
Good work.
Thank you.
Hi there.
I'm Zena. So I want to start off with like defined terms.
Yeah.
How do you define worship?
Prioritize.
Prioritize. So almost like having a preference over something other than the
It's a
other.
hierarchy of preferences.
Yeah.
And you use it to direct your attention.
Right.
So whatever you're attending to, you're worshiping.
Right. So I've kind of become a little bit familiar with your idea of like this value-laden hierarchy.
Yeah.
Right. And you kind of posit that at the bottom of this hierarchy, or you can call it top or bottom, I suppose. At the bottom of this hierarchy, this foundational priority in your life is going to be considered God.
That's
Is that
right.
correct?
Yes.
Right. I'm trying to imagine a situation in which could there be that someone has a priority at their foundation that is different from someone else's?
Oh, definitely.
Right. So we can have different conceptions of God.
That's why we fight.
Right. So essentially, there's not one God. There are multiple gods, and these gods exist in some realm of truth. It's true that this person has one God and it exists.
Yeah, probably better to think about it as multiple values, but that there's a hierarchy of values with something at the bottom.
Right, but at the bottom is God, and
That's a definition. Yeah.
Yeah. So at the bottom is God,
Yeah.
and there can be multiple people with different conceptions of God, and they're each valid in being called God. So there are multiple gods that exist.
It depends on what you mean by valid. So far, so good, but it depends on what you mean by valid, because I would say that some foundational conceptions don't play out when they're implemented. So if you put the wrong thing at the foundation, you end up in hell, for example. That's what happens in totalitarian states.
Okay.
Yeah?
So you're saying...
So they're not all equal. Like, all foundational principles are not equal, even though they might be equally foundation. Right?
So what makes one kind of foundational tenet better than another?
That's an excellent question. Iterability. Imagine that you play a game with someone and you're a kid, and it's fun. So then you play again and again and again.
So repetition.
It's playability across multiple iterations. So then you have a friend. The friend is better than having a game, right? So that's one. Breadth of application is another. So if it's just for me now, it's not as good as something that would be benefit to both of us across time.
Right. So we're explaining characteristics that can be applied to these types of foundational values. But why is it that this iterability makes it better, and what does better mean?
Well, one hallmark of better is likely to be selected voluntarily.
Boom. What's up? I'm back.
Another descriptive kind of...
I had to make the baby breakfast.
So we're talking about characteristics that in some type of system with a goal, an output being we could maybe say happiness, right? Or some type of...
Harmony.
Harmony,
Yeah,
right?
that's better. Not happiness precisely, because it's too short term.
Exactly. So as someone who is an atheist, right, I can explain that within a system, there are things that we can see as better or worse to meet this goal or meet this output. But what we're interested in, though, is what could make these things, regardless of any system, right?
She remind me of my little sister. Not that she's atheist, but she remind me of the characteristics of my little sister. And then her little heart-shaped face.
So the foundational principles
But
are lacking, because when you implement them,
not believing in a God, not finding something that you could lean on is really a negative. I'm not saying that you have to believe in
without a system, right?
God.
This thing is simply
You could
normal.
believe in, but
stands independent. This thing is good. So I'm trying to figure out if such thing can exist.
I'm not saying you got to fall on the sword for
believe that these things
what you believe in or what you don't believe in.
It's self-evidently
But for you not to
in accordance with the system.
I can't define them
heed
more accurately than I
that
would
you
read it.
didn't create yourself is a little, I don't know, bro.
And religion,
I don't want to say it's scary.
Because it is God, right? So it's self-evident, right? Without.
But my thing is, why wouldn't you want to have a best friend?
This thing is
whatever you missing, he could become that. So even if it's fake,
that's true.
it's better off being, it's real. You know what I'm saying? It's real because
Job is unfairly tortured in consequence of a bet between God and Satan. So Job is emblematic of someone who's being hurt for no apparent reason. Okay, so Job's response to that is that he refuses to lose faith in himself, and he refuses to lose faith in the ultimate goodness of being. Okay, and those are axiomatic decisions. They're not exactly evidence dependent because he is suffering. There's an arbitrariness in that that's reminiscent of what you claim.
So I'm essentially trying to figure out, do you believe that something can be good, like stance independent, something that can be good?
I don't know what you mean by stance independent.
Okay, so
you mean independent of people?
Independent of people. We can use that, or more so, I want to be more specific. Something that can be good, right, regardless of any end goal. It's just good.
No, I think good is tied up with goal.
Goal, okay. I completely agree. So in a sense, this is why.
That's why the religious goal in Christianity is the establishment of the kingdom of heaven on earth. It's goal dependent.
Okay, right.
So it's in reference to a goal.
So,
or the goal would be the
but
imitation of Christ.
Someone's goal, right, can be something that doesn't encompass being in congruence with God or being with God.
No, the thing that they want to be in
Oh, right, okay.
That's right. That's right. That's good. That's great. The thing they want to be in congruence with is fundamentally equivalent to their God.
So what makes someone a Christian and what makes someone not a Christian? What makes like that's what I'm trying to figure out because
that's a good question.
Yes.
Yeah, well, probably the deepest answer to that is willingness to shoulder your cross voluntarily and trudge uphill regardless of circumstances.
Okay, so someone can have a God because in your definition, your first preference, that is God, right? So someone can believe in God, right, and not be a Christian, right?
Yeah, well, there's a statement that Christ makes in the Gospels. He says, not everyone who says, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven.
So not that they're even saying that they believe in God, but they just...
I know, but that's why I'm saying this to you, is that Christ himself points out that there's a difference between people who say they believe and people who act it out. And the fundamental issue is the action rather than the stated belief.
But he also says that, to be saved, right, you must believe God has died for your sins or that God has resurrected in some way. So it's like, I don't necessarily think that we can take from the Bible and say that, like, acting in accordance with God necessarily means, or acting in accordance with, the principles of God. Like, for example,
I'm done. This was good, though. One more video, and then I want to smoke. So, honestly, I think I might have to cook. I think I have to take off, TikTok.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
Yeah, I'm going to take off TikTok, but let me find something else to watch. What? That's too gold. Do. I'm just looking for something else to watch. What's this? Pastor versus Hindu. They wildin'. Oh, what AK doing? They not doing the rest of the sentence? AKA fell off. Why you fell off on that? These academic was going crazy with all the going crazy with all the Diddy shit. Nah, he's done. Pre-sentence, he's back in the court. Oh, they done. What you want, mama? What you want, mama? What you want, mama?
You ain't lit. Go ahead and run. Guess what? I have people run all the time. I have people run. Go to the Bible. And what I'm prefacing it with is this. If we are made... What's coming out of... Nope.
Damn, I want to buy it.
How old?
Do. I hate when I do that. Do. Come on. Do.
Wake that ass up early in the morning. The Breakfast Club.
Well, guys, it's been a while since we've been here, and since then, Diddy was found not guilty of the racketeering.
Let's see what they're talking about.
Last time I counted, there was 8 billion of us, all running in different directions. But when we make our way together, we find each other. It's
accounting. Saucony. I want to buy that shit. I want to buy Saucony.
Well, guys, it's been a while
Probably won't
since
sell
we've been
it.
here, and since then, Diddy was found not guilty of the racketeering, racketeering and sex trafficking charges, and found guilty of the Mann Act charges, which are the prostitution charges. Now, after that happens, of course, people are like, well, he's going to have to go to jail. Will he have to go to jail? What happens? So sentencing will happen. Today, they're having a conversation in court about when his sentencing will actually be. It's supposed to be October 3rd, but Diddy's team is asking for it to be expedited to happen as quickly as it can. The prosecution says that they're not going to fight that. They're okay with that. They just didn't want him to come home on bond until he got his sentencing, which the judge agreed with in court last week. So today we'll find out when he'll be sentenced and how soon it'll be. And that leans on the probation office. Like they have to put together like a sentencing report. And then however long that takes, we'll know when that date is going to be.
So his charges are prostitution charges, hiring a prostitute and
That's nothing.
transporting them across state lines. Right?
That ain't nothing.
Yeah, 2 of those.
Yeah, it's 2 of those, 2 counts of those. Yep, so that's what he was found guilty of. And his attorney, Mark Agnifilio, spoke to AP News, and he told AP News that when Diddy went back into jail, he got like a standing ovation from the other prisoners because he beat the federal government, and they said that they've never
beat
seen
that
him
Rico.
be able to beat the government that way.
He beat that
he
Rico.
also talked about Mark Agnifilio, Diddy's attorney, just the fact that
Because it was
they
in shit,
knew
bro.
that Diddy
It
was
just
probably going to get off on the sex trafficking charges because how confused the jury was on the Rico, because the charges are related. So people thought that Diddy, because when they first said they were confused on that one count with the Rico, Diddy was visibly like emotional as I don't know what. And people thought that they knew something, we did it, and that he was going to be guilty on all counts. But they're saying, no, we knew when we were trying to tell him, like, yo, just hold on. This is looking good for you.
Now, the question, so for normal people who hire a prostitute and take them off across state lines, they usually get a fine or less than a year or community service, correct?
They do?
I'm asking.
I don't know.
I think it
That's what I'm
depends.
asking.
I mean, I don't know all
That's what they were saying. When I read it,
there is no hole you could bring across state lines.
When people get arrested or they get
Nigga,
charged
she
for
your girlfriend now.
they usually get a fine or they get community service or not jail time as a first-time offender.
See, I don't know about that. I know prostitutes. I don't know prostitute collectors. Like, I don't know the ones
collectors
or whatever.
That participate in prostitution.
Yeah. I know like the actual toots.
I get what you're saying. I totally understand.
Well, I don't know.
He know the hoes. He don't know the people that he going to.
They were talking about up to
I don't
20
get that.
years,
That's true. Because
but,
bitches take flights every fucking day, bro. This is bullshit.
So
That's when the charge carries.
Niggas and bitches. You gotta think about it. It's no female escorts.
Correct.
It's
So
only
they're
male
saying
escorts.
At least a minimum of 4 years based on the sentencing guidelines, and at least.
All the way from 20. That's what they was asking for 20, right?
Because whenever you talk about sentencing or charges, they have like a maximum and a minimum.
By the way, 4 is a long time for a 55-year-old man who's used to living the high life the way Diddy has. Okay.
Yeah, he's been in there already.
Let's not act like 4 years isn't
He already got time served. He been in jail already for a whole year. So you gotta take that time off.
Remember, OJ went to jail not for the crime. He went to jail for stealing his memorabilia back, and he got 20 years for it.
Well,
what are you talking about?
I remember because what I'm saying.
That was after the fact. That was 10 years later.
He charged for the major crime. They can still plan him for.
What OJ's crime, the stealing was a whole separate thing from
years
Right, but he should
after.
have got 20 years for stealing, because most people who steal probably would have got a year for that. But he got 20 years because they wanted to stick it to OJ. So maybe
I see what he's trying to say.
Stick it to Diddy, even though
I see what he's trying to say.
You might like getting stuck.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Well, he's still back like his
We gonna be back here tomorrow and go crazy. Cause I'm about to get off TikTok. Smoke a blunt. Get off YouTube. Smoke a blunt. I'm gonna keep YouTube. I don't think. Nah, yeah, I'm gonna get off this shit. Pull up. Boop, boop. Shout out everybody who fuck with me today. I fuck with all y'all. I'm about to roll a blunt.
The jokes ain't never stopping. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
Hey y'all, what's up? It's Lauren LaRosa letting you know that when it comes to accident or injury cases, Top Dog Law is a name that you should know. Whether it's a car wreck, slip and fall, construction site injury, don't play games with your future. Top Dog Law doesn't settle for those lowball answers. They get you top dollar, period. The call is completely free and you don't pay unless you win. So call Top Dog Law today or hit them up on Instagram at Top Dog Law or visit topdoglaw.com. These are real cases. You get real results. Top Dog gets it done.
And my last question: when Diddy comes out, what happens next?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what a lot of people have been asking. Like,
does he do music? Does he start the Black Effect and do a book? Does he do a podcast?
Yeah, he definitely got. Because we did his last interview, so will he be his first?
Here's the thing. I fear people aren't going to learn a damn thing from this Diddy situation. Like, all the conversations I'm having sound so ass backwards. Like, you can blame the system.
Right.
We can say the feds overcharged him. We can say he was railroaded. We can say it was a shakedown.
Crazy.
That's what they're saying. I mean, this is the language that they're using. This is the language that they're using. They're saying railroaded. They're saying it was a shakedown. But at what point are we going to have conversations about how he gave this system